Now, if you take a look at this is a Java source file. It's a test file. So you have a class, and inside of that class are a few methods like this. This is a normal method, but this is a test method. So it has decorator add test. It's executed normally, and when it throws, it fails. You do not know what throws. Well, this throws, and this throws, and whatever. And all of that has to be managed by JUnit, a third-party dependency. It's insane that it's a third-party dependency and you have to pull that in. So you have to pull that in from a third-party package manager because you don't have a package manager in Java. I didn't. I just pulled the jar directly inside of my makefile, but you probably shouldn't do that. But I just did that because nobody uses that. But that is insane to me. It's insane to me that a modern language doesn't just have a test framework in it directly. So how my language does it is you have a test just like this. It can be anywhere. If you pass in a test flag, dash test flag, that means it's compiled. If not, it just gets skipped, like in compilation. This does not get compiled if you don't have a test flag. You have sweets. Sweets just help group tests, and they help you define stuff inside of them, which is not visible outside. It's just normal closure, and it does not get compiled if you don't do tests. So that's how it is. So, for example, you have a mock, and that should return, I don't know, 5, and then you would do mock I. For example, yeah, mock n, and then you just return n by 2. I don't know. So yeah, that's how you do mocks. That's how you keep it local. And yeah, you can also skip tests. So that's super important. For example, if you want to have the add thing, well, let me actually walk through the rest of it. You also have, well, I'm planning to have all of this. So maybe test bench, maybe test fuzz. I'm not sure about this, but let me pull those in like now, even though they don't really exist. And expect this to be a test suite for add. Now you have your normal test, you do whatever, so it works kind of the same way. So it makes a closure, and if something returns, that means the test just stops. But if the value returned is an error, that means the test fails. And for example, expect can return an error on OK. If this operator is used, this postfix operator is used, that means you just unwrap the value, and the value is propagated up. So it's returned if it's an error, otherwise it's just normal. And you can have test skip. So that is super important for stuff that you want to implement later, but you don't really want to describe that with comments because it's better to describe it with tests that you can just unskip, right? And that's how you know what you want to implement. Later on, you'll have a pause test. So that means you have a function which is given a parameter which is randomized based on the type. So for example, the table is just going to be fully like nonsense. And in this case, you probably want to have this work, right? So you encode the data table, and then when you decode it, it should be the same thing. This is not certain at all, because, for example, what should be in the table? Numbers, strings, maybe functions. They shouldn't have functions, so that's still like not decided upon. And benchmarks. Well, you want to have benchmarks, but benchmarks do exist actually already. Oh yeah, by the way, this is how the output looks. Let me actually revert all of this. Let me put all of that back. Yeah, just like this. So this test fails and it prints that. It prints that it fails. Just like that. So what else? Oh yeah, benchmarks. So zig build run dash bench allocation.iv. That just benches it with one iteration. But if you want to have more, you just like postfix it with 10 or something. That means it's 10 iterations. Maybe I want to use that. I'm actually not sure. But maybe I'll make it like more first class, like in the code instead of in the binary. I don't know, but I feel like this is super cool already. Like the fact that you have this, it gives you like all of this straight up. This is encoded in the VM, so that's big. That's awesome. Oh, and also suites, they print stuff like this. So that's JSON structure. Maybe I wouldn't do it like that. Maybe I'd want to reformat it to like something like this, right? Suites, all of this. And all of this and all of this. Let me do it like that. Maybe I want to do that. Maybe I want to do it like that. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. But I feel like that would be super cool. So yeah, tell me what you think about this, because I'm actually not yet fully decided on it. I feel like this is quite simple. This is simple enough to pretty easily understand and learn entirely, as long as you remember those are just closures, right? This is just a closure. It has some sugar inside of it, but that's just it. That's just what it is. So yeah, did I miss anything? No, I didn't. So yeah, this by the way, the entire shape for mock. And also this is how it looks without like the test flag, essentially. Like this is how the whole thing looks at a compiler. So yeah, thanks for listening. Tell me what you think about this. I probably don't know something, and I would want you to tell me something that I don't know. So yeah, thanks.